Ah, are you digging on my grave? By Thomas Hardy. Read for LibriVox.org by Peter Tomlinson. Ah, are you digging on my grave, my loved one, planting rue? No, yesterday he went to wed one of the brightest wealth has bred. It cannot hurt her now, he said, that I should not be true. Then who is digging on my grave, my nearest, dearest kin? Ah, no, they sit and think, what use? What good will planting flowers produce? No tendance of her mound can loose her spirit from death's gin. But someone digs upon my grave, my enemy, prodding sly. Nay, when she heard you had passed the gate that shuts on all flesh soon or late, she thought you no more worth her hate, and cares not where you lie. Then who is digging on my grave? Say, since I have not guessed. Oh, it is I, my mistress dear, your little dog who still lives near, and much I hope my movements here have not disturbed your rest. Ah, yes, you dig upon my grave. Why flashed it not to me that one true heart was left behind? What feeling do we ever find to equal among humankind a dog's fidelity? Mistress, I dug upon your grave to bury a bone, in case I should be hungry near this spot when passing on my daily trot. I am sorry, but I quite forgot it was your resting place. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
At the End of the Year by Anonymous. Read for LibriVox.org by Sonia. At the end of the year. The Friend's reply. I thought your lines a great success. You always did write rather neatly, although I must at once confess I can't agree with you completely. Of course I recollect quite well how long we sat and smoked together, and how our conversation fell, as fall it will, upon the weather. Our prospects then seemed bright and fair, our language certainly got stronger, we built our castles in the air, and by degrees our drinks grew longer. Yes, in the game of law Ben wins, and many guineas in his picking. But have you heard his wife has twins, and both of them alive and kicking? And pompous Joe, now Joe M.P., is doubtless pleased at growing raucous through speaking, since he's proud to be the member for a Tory caucus. Yet I'm afraid for his poor brain that such success will surely turn it, for every speech means so much strain, since off by heart he has to learn it. And Maisie Jack, whose chance in life we all of us considered shady, has married money, and a wife. But tell me, do you know the lady? Dick's dinners, too, I'm quite aware, are noted, yet he's far from steady, whilst Tom's fine house in Belgrave Square is mortgaged, so they say, already. Life, after all, is surely more than guineas, Belgrave Square, or dinners. Life is a race, but yet before you curse your luck, are these the winners? And so, old friend, content I jog along amidst life's hurry-scurry, and smoke my bird's eye, sip my grog, without a care or thought to worry. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Books excerpted from The Library by George Crabbe. Read for LibriVox.org by David Wales. But what strange art, what magic can dispose the troubled mind to change its native woes? Or lead us, willing from ourselves, to see others more wretched, more undone than we? This books can do. Nor this alone. They give new views to life, and teach us how to live. They soothe the grieved, the stubborn they chastise, fools they admonish, and confirm the wise. Their aid they yield to all. They never shun the man of sorrow, nor the wretch undone. Unlike the hard, the selfish, and the proud, they fly not sullen from the suppliant crowd, nor tell to various people various things, but show to subjects what they show to kings. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Buddha at Kamakura by Rudyard Kipling. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgate Novelist. And there is a Japanese idol at Kamakura. O ye who tread the narrow way by Tophet flare to Judgment Day, be gentle when the heathen pray to Buddha at Kamakura. To him the way, the law apart, whom Maya held beneath her heart, Ananda's lord, the Bodhisat, the Buddha of Kamakura. For though he neither burns nor sees, nor hears ye thank your deities, ye have not sinned with such as these, his children at Kamakura. Yet spare us still the Western joke, when joss sticks turn to scented smoke, the little sins of little folk that worship at Kamakura. The grey-robed, gay-sashed butterflies that flit beneath the Master's eyes. He is beyond the mysteries, but loves them at Kamakura. And whoso will, from pride released, contemning neither creed nor priest, may feel the soul of all the East about him at Kamakura. Yea, every tale Ananda heard of birth as fish or beast or bird, while yet in lives the Master stirred, the warm wind brings Kamakura. Till drowsy eyelids seem to see a flower 'neath her golden tea, the Shwe Dagon flare easterly from Burma to Kamakura. And down the loaded air there comes the thunder of Tibetan drums, and droned Om Mane Padme hums, a world's width from Kamakura. Yet Brahmins rule Benares still, Buddh Gaya's ruins pit the hill, and beef-fed zealots threaten ill to Buddha and Kamakura. A tourist show, a legend told, a rusting bulk of bronze and gold, so much, and scarce so much, ye hold the meaning of Kamakura? But when the morning prayer is prayed, think, ere ye pass to strife and trade, is God in human image made no nearer than Kamakura? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Dance at the Phoenix by Thomas Hardy. Read for LibriVox.org by Thomas Peter. To Jenny came a gentle youth from inland Lease's lone. His love was fresh as apple bluth, by parrot yea or tone. And duly he entreated her to be his tender minister, and call him aye her own. Fair Jenny's life had hardly been a life of modesty. At Casterbridge experience keen of many loves had she, from scarcely 16 years above, among them sundry troopers of the king's own cavalry. But each with charger, sword, and gun had bluffed the Biscay wave, and Jenny prized her gentle one for all the love he gave. She vowed to be, if they were wed, his honest wife in heart and head, from Ryedale hour to grave. Wedded they were. Her husband's trust in Jenny knew no bound, and Jenny kept her pure and just, till even malice found no sin or sign of ill to be in one who walked so decently the duteous helpmates round. 2 sons were born, and bloomed to men, and roamed and were as naught. Alone was Jenny left again, as ere her mind had sought a solace in domestic joys, and ere the vanished pair of boys were sent to sun her cot. She numbered near on 60 years, and passed as elderly, when, in the street, with flush of fears, on day discovered she, from shine of swords and thump of drum, her early loves from war had come, the king's own cavalry. She turned aside and bowed her head, anigh St. Peter's door. "Alas for chastened thoughts," she said, "I'm faded now, and hoar; And yet those notes, they thrill me through, And those gay forms move me anew As in the years of yore." 'Twas Christmas, and the Phoenix Inn Was lit with tapers tall, For 30 of the trooper men Had vowed to give a ball, As theirs had done, fame handed down, When lying in the selfsame town Ere Buonaparte's fall. That night the throbbing soldier's joy, The measured tread and sway Of fancy lad and maiden coy, Reached Jenny as she lay Beside her spouse, till springtide blood Seemed scouring through her like a flood That whisked the years away. She rose, and rayed and decked her head To hide her ringlets thin; Upon her cap 2 bows of red She fixed with hasty pin. On her descending to the street, She trod the flags with 2 led feet, And stood before the inn. Save for the dancers, not a sound Disturbed the icy air; No watchman on his midnight round Or traveller was there; But over All Saints', high and bright, Pulsed to the music's serious white The Wain by Bullstick Square. She knocked, but found her further stride Checked by a sergeant tall. "Gae grannie, whence come you?" he cried, "This is a private ball." "No one has more right here than me; Ere you were born, man," answered she, "I knew the regiment all." "Take not the lady's visit ill," Upspoke the steward free; "We lack sufficient partners still, So prithee let her be." They seized and whirled her, 'mid the maze, And Jenny felt as in the days Of her immodesty. Hour chased each hour, and night advanced; She sped as shod with wings; Each time and every time she danced, Reels, jigs, poucettes, and flings. They cheered her as she soared and swooped; She learnt ere art in dancing drooped From hops to slothful swings. The favourite quickstep, speed the plough, Cross hands, cast off and wheel; The triumph, Sylph, the row dow dow, Famed Major Malley's reel; The Duke of York's, the fairy dance, The bridge of Lodi, brought from France, She beat out, toe and heel. The fall of Paris clanged its close, And Peter's chime told 4, When Jenny, bosom beating, rose To seek her silent door. They tiptoed in escorting her, Lest stroke of heel or chink of spur Should break her goodman's snore. The fire that late had burnt fell slack When lone at last stood she; Her 59 years came back; She sank upon her knee Beside the durn, and like a dart A something arrowed through her heart And shoots of agony. Their footsteps died as she leant there, Lit by the morning star Hanging above the moorland, Where the aged elm rows are; And, as o'ernight, from Pummery Ridge To Maimbury Ring and Steadfast Bridge, No life stirred, near or far. Though inner mischief worked amain, She reached her husband's side, Where, toil weary, as he had lain Beneath the patchwork pied When yestereve she'd forthward crept, And as unwitting, still he slept Who did in her confide. A tear sprang as she turned and viewed His features free from guile; She kissed him long, as when, just wooed, She chose his domicile. Death menaced now, yet less for life She wished than that she were the wife That she had been erstwhile. Time wore to 6, her husband rose And struck the steel and stone; He glanced at Jenny, whose repose Seemed deeper than his own. With dumb dismay, on closer sight, He gathered sense that in the night, Or morn, her soul had flown. When told that some too mighty strain For one so many yeared Had burst her bosom's master vein, His doubts remained unstirred. His Jenny had not left his side Betwixt the eve and morning tide. The kings said not a word. Well, times are not as times were then, Nor fair ones half so free; And truly they were martial men, The king's own cavalry. And when they went from Casterbridge And vanished over Mellstock Ridge, 'Twas saddest morn to see. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
An Elegy on the Death of a Mad Dog by Oliver Goldsmith. Read for LibriVox.org by Peter Tomlinson. Good people all of every sort, give ear unto my song, and if you find it wondrous short, it cannot hold you long. In Islington there was a man, of whom the world might say that still a godly race he ran, whenever he went to pray. A kind and gentle heart he had, to comfort friends and foes, the naked every day he clad, when he put on his clothes. And in that town a dog was found, as many dogs there be, both mongrel, puppy, whelp and hound, and curs of low degree. This dog and man at first were friends, but when a pique began, the dog to gain his private ends, went mad and bit the man. Around from all the neighbouring streets the wondering neighbours ran, and swore the dog had lost his wits to bite so good a man. The wound it seemed both sore and sad to every Christian eye, and while they swore the dog was mad, they swore the man would die. But soon a wonder came to light, that showed the rogues they lied. The man recovered of the bite. The dog it was that died. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Evening Star by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Kangaroo. Lo! In the painted oriel of the west, who pains the sunken sun in carnadines, like a fair lady at her casement shines, the evening star, the star of love and rest, and then anon she doth herself divest of all her radiant garments, and reclines behind the sombre screen of yonder pines, with slumber and soft dreams of love oppressed. O my beloved, my sweet Hesperus, my morning and my evening star of love, my best and gentlest lady, even thus, as that fair planet in the sky above, dost thou retire unto thy rest at night, and from thy darkened window fades the light. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Falling of the Leaves by W.B. Yeats. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. Autumn is over the long leaves that love us, and over the mice in the barley sheaves. Yellow the leaves of the rowan above us, and yellow the wet wild strawberry leaves. The hour of the waning of love has beset us, and weary and worn are our sad souls now. Let us part ere the season of passion forget us, with a kiss and a tear on thy drooping brow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fear No More by William Shakespeare, read for LibriVox.org by Peter Tomlinson on the 27th of November 2016. Fear no more the heat o' the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Thou thy worldly task hast done, home art gone and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, as chimney sweepers, come to dust. Fear no more the frown of the great, thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and eat, to thee the reed is as the oak. The sceptre, learning, physic must all follow this, and come to dust. Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the all-dread thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure rash, thou hast finished joy and moan. And lovers young, all lovers must consign to thee and come to dust. No exorciser harm thee, nor no witchcraft charm thee. Ghost unlaid forbear thee, nothing ill come near thee. Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to know that for destruction ice is also great, and would suffice. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Hymn to the Night by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Read for LibriVox.org by Kangaroo. I heard the trailing garments of the night sweep through her marble halls. I saw her sable skirts all fringed with light from the celestial walls. I felt her presence by its spell of might stoop o'er me from above, the calm majestic presence of the night, as of the one I love. I heard the sounds of sorrow and delight, the manifold soft chimes that fill the haunted chambers of the night, like some old poet's rhymes. From the cool cisterns of the midnight air my spirit drank repose. The fountain of perpetual peace thrills there, from those deep cisterns flows. O holy night, from thee I learned to bear what man has borne before. Thou layest thy finger on the lips of care, and they complain no more. Peace, peace, Orestes, like I breathe this prayer, descend with broad-winged flight, the welcome, the thrice prayed for, the most fair, the best beloved night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. Read for LibriVox.org by Abby. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw the sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Mnemosyne by Trumbull Stickney. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. It's autumn in the country I remember. How warm a wind blew here about the ways, and shadows on the hillside lay to slumber during the long sun-sweetened summer days. It's cold abroad the country I remember. The swallows veering skimmed the golden grain at midday with a wing aslant and limber, and yellow cattle browsed upon the plain. It's empty down the country I remember. I had a sister, lovely in my sight. Her hair was dark, her eyes were very sombre. We sang together in the woods at night. It's lonely in the country I remember. The babble of our children fills my ears, and on our hearth I stare the perished ember to flames that shoal starry through my tears. It's dark about the country I remember. There are the mountains where I lived, The path is slushed with cattle tracks and fallen timber. The stumps are twisted by the tempest's wrath. But that I knew these places are my own, I'd ask how came such wretchedness to cumber the earth, and I to people it alone. It rains across the country I remember. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Mystery by Margaret Steele Anderson. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. This is your cup, the cup assigned to you from the beginning. Yea, my child, I know how much of that dark drink is your own brew, of fault and passion. Ages long ago, in the deep years of yesterday, I knew. This is your road, a painful road and drear. I made the stones that never give you rest. I set your friend in pleasant ways and clear, and he shall come, like you, unto my breast. But you, my weary child, must travel here. This is your work. It has no fame, no grace, but is not meant for any other hand, and in my universe hath measured place. Take it. I do not bid you understand. I bid you close your eyes to see my face. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Night Voices by Arthur Conan Doyle. Read for LibriVox.org by Sonia. Night Voices. Father, father, who is that a-whispering? Who is it who whispers in the wood? You say it is the breeze, as it sighs among the trees, but there is some one who whispers in the wood. Father, father, who is that a-murmuring? Who is it who murmurs in the night? You say it is the roar of the wave upon the shore, but there's some one who murmurs in the night. Father, father, who is that who laughs at us? Who is it who chuckles in the glen? Oh, father, let us go, for the light is burning low, and there's somebody laughing in the glen. Father, father, tell me what you're waiting for. Tell me why your eyes are on the door. It is dark and it is late, but you sit so still and straight, ever staring, ever smiling, at the door. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
November by Elizabeth Stoddard. Read for LibriVox.org by Thomas Peter. Much have I spoken of the faded leaf. Long have I listened to the wailing wind, and watched it ploughing through the heavy clouds, for autumn charms my melancholy mind. When autumn comes, the poets sing a dirge. The year must perish, all the flowers are dead. The sheaves are gathered, and the mottled quail runs in the stubble, but the lark has fled. Still, autumn ushers in the Christmas cheer, the holly berries and the ivy tree. They weave a chaplet for the old year's bier. These waiting mourners do not sing for me. I find sweet peace in depths of autumn woods, where grow the ragged ferns and roughened moss. The naked, silent trees have taught me this. The loss of beauty is not always loss. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Oft in the Stilly Night by Thomas Moore. Read for LibriVox.org by Phil Schempf. Oft in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain has bound me, fond memory brings the light of other days around me, the smiles, the tears of boyhood's years, The words of love then spoken, the eyes that shone, now dimmed and gone, the cheerful hearts now broken. Thus in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain has bound me, sad memory brings the light of other days around me, when I remember all the friends, so linked together, I have seen around me fall, like leaves in wintry weather. I feel like one who treads alone some banquet hall deserted, whose lights are fled, whose garlands dead, and all but he departed. Thus in the stilly night, ere slumber's chain has bound me, sad memory brings the light of other days around me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On His Blindness by John Milton. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. When I considered how my light is spent ere half my days in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide lodged with me useless, though my soul more bent to serve therewith my Maker, and present my true account, lest he returning chide, doth God exact day labor, light denied? I fondly ask. But patience, to prevent that murmur, soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and post o'er land and ocean without rest. They also serve, who only stand and wait. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Orpheus by Osbert Sitwell. Read for LibriVox.org by Mary's Neighbour, Dublin 2016. When Orpheus with his wind-swift fingers ripples the strings that gleam like rain, the wheeling birds fly up and sing, hither, thither, echoing. There is a crackling of dry twigs, a sweeping of leaves along the ground. Fawny faces and dumb eyes peer through the fluttering screens that mask ferocious teeth and claws now tranquil. As the music sighs up the hillside, the young ones hear, come skipping, ambling, rolling down, their soft ears flapping as they run, their fleecy coats catching in the thickets, till they lie listening round his feet. Unseen for centuries, fabulous creatures creep out of their caves. The unicorn prances down from his bed of leaves, his milk-white muzzle still stained green with the munching, crunching of mountain herbs. The griffin, usually so fierce, now tame and amiable again, has covered the white bones in his secret cavern with a rustling pall of dank dead leaves, while the salamander, true lover of art, flickers and creeps out of the flame, gently now, and away he goes, kindles his proud and blazing track across the forest, lies listening, cools his fever in the flowing waters of the lute. But when the housewife returns carrying her basket, she will not understand. She misses nothing, hears nothing. She will only see that the fire is dead, the grate cold. But the child upstairs, alone in the empty cottage, heard a strange wind like music in the forest, saw something creep out of the fire. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Pain by Margaret Steele Anderson. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. You eat the heart of life like some great beast. You blacken the sweet sky that God made blue. You are the death's head set amid the feast, the desert breath that drinks up every dew. And no man lives that doth not fear you. Pain, and no man lives that learns to love your rod. the white lip smiles, but ever and again God's image cries your horror unto God. And yet, O terrible, men grant you this: you work a mystery. When you are done, lo, common living changes into bliss. Lo, the mere light is as the noonday sun. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Prayer by Rudyard Kipling. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgate Novelist. My brother kneels, so saith Kabir, to stone and brass in heathen wise. But in my brother's voice I hear my own unanswered agonies. His God is as his fates assign, his prayer is all the world's, and mine. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek, and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Snowflakes by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Recorded for LibriVox.org by Kangaroo. Out of the bosom of the air, out of the cloud folds of her garments shaken, over the woodlands brown and bare, over the harvest fields forsaken, silent and soft and slow descends the snow. Even as our cloudy fancies take suddenly shape in some divine expression, even as the troubled heart doth make in the white countenance confession, the troubled sky reveals the grief it feels. This is the poem of the air, slowly in silent syllables recorded. This is the secret of despair, long in its cloudy bosom hoarded, now whispered and revealed to wood and field. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Song of the Wise Children by Rudyard Kipling. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgate Novelist. When the darkened 50s dip to the north, and frost and the fog divide the air, and the day is dead it is breaking forth, sirs, it is bitter beneath the bare. Far to southward they wheel and glance, the million molten spears of morn, the spears of our deliverance, that shine on the house where we were born. Flying fish about our bows, flying sea fires in our wake, this is the road to our Father's house, whither we go for our soul's sake. We have forfeited our birthright, we have forsaken all things meet, we have forgotten the look of light, we have forgotten the scent of heat. They that walk with shaded brows, year by year in a shining land, they be men of our Father's house, they shall receive us and understand. We shall go back by the boltless doors to the life unaltered our childhood knew, to the naked feet on the cool dark floors, and the high sealed rooms that the trade blows through, to the trumpet flowers, and the moon beyond, and the tree toad's chorus drowning all, and the lisp of the split banana frond that talked us to sleep when we were small. The wayside magic, the threshold spells, shall soon undo what the North has done, because of the sights and the sounds and the smells that ran with our youth in the eye of the sun. And earth accepting shall ask no vows, nor the sea our love, nor our lover the sky. When we return to our Father's house, only the English shall wonder why. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Spring and Fall by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian King. To a Young Child. Margaret, are you grieving over Golden Grove unleaving? Leaves, like the things of man, you, with your fresh thoughts, care for, can you? Ah, as the heart grows older, it will come to such sights colder, by and by, nor spare a sigh, though worlds of wanwood leaf meal lie, and yet you will weep, and know why. Now no matter, child, the name, sorrow's springs are the same, nor mouth had, no nor mind expressed, what heart heard of, ghost guessed. It is the blight man was born for, it is Margaret you mourn for. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To a Lady with a Head of Diana by Thomas William Parsons. Read for LibriVox.org by Thomas Peter. My Christmas gifts were few. To one a fan to keep love's flame alive, since even to the constant sun twilight and setting must arrive, and to another, she who sent that splendid toy, an empty purse, I gave, though not for satire meant, an emptier thing, a scrap of verse. For thee I chose Diana's head, graved by a cunning hand in Rome, to whose dim shop my feet were led by sweet remembrances of home. 'Twas with a kind of pagan feeling that I my little treasure bought. My mood I care not for concealing. Great is Diana, was my thought. Methought, howe'er we change our creeds, whether to Jove or God we bend, by various paths religion leads all spirits to a single end. The goddess of the woods and fields, the healthful huntress, undefiled, now with her fabled brother yields to sinless Mary and her child. But chastity and truth remain still the same virtues as of yore, whether we kneel in Christian fane or old mythologies adore. What though the symbol were a lie, since the ripe world hath wiser grown, if any goodness grew thereby, I will not scorn it for mine own. So I selected Dian's head from out the artist's glittering show, and this shall be my gift, I said, to one that bears the silver bow. To her whose quiet life has been the mirror of as calm a heart, above temptation from the din of cities and the pomp of art, who still hath spent her active days cloistered amid her happy hills, not ignorant of worldly ways, but loving more the woods and rills. And thou art she to whom I give this image of the Virgin Queen, praying that thou, like her, mayst live, thrice blessed, in being seldom seen. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Trees by Margaret Steele Anderson. Read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. When on the spring's enchanting blue you trace your slender leaves and few, then do I wish myself reborn to lands of hope, to lands of morn. And when you wear your rich attire, your autumn garments, touched with fire, I want again that ardent soul that dared the race and dreamed the goal. But oh, when leafless, dark and high, you rise against this winter sky, I hear God's word, "Stand still and see how fair is mine austerity." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Zane Grey by W. Livingston Larned. Read for LibriVox.org by Sonia. Zane Grey. Been to Avalon with Grey, been most everywhere, chummed with him and fished with him in every sportsman's lair, helped him with the white sea bass and barracuda haul, shared the tuna's sprayful sport, and heard his hunter call. Me and Grey are fishing friends, pals of rod and reel, whether it's the sort that fights, or the humble eel. On and on through Wonderland, winds a blowing free, catching all the fins that grow, Sportsman Grey and me. Been to Florida with Zane, scouting down the coast, whipped the deep for tarpon too, that natives love the most. Seen the smiling tropic isles that pass in green review, gathered cocoanut and moss where southern skies were blue. Seen him laugh that boyish laugh when things were going right, helped him beach our little boat and kindle fires at night. Comrades of the open way, the treasure trove of sea, Port Ahoy and who cares where, with Mr. Grey and me. Been to western lands with Grey, hunted fox and deer, seen the grizzly's ugly face with danger lurking near, slept on needles near the sky and marked the round moon rise over purpling peaks of snow that hurt a fellow's eyes. Gone like Indians under brush and to some mystic place, home of red men long since gone to join their dying race. Yes, we've chummed it, onward, outward, mountain, wood and key, at the quiet reading table, Sportsman Grey and me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.